Well guys, I bought another car and this one might be a huge mistake. Welcome back everybody. So today I'm going to be showing you guys the newest car that I've purchased. It's this 1997 Acura Integra that you see behind me. And this car is absolutely destroyed. But I am pretty excited about this car. It is a pretty special Integra. And I'll show you guys exactly why here in a second. But this thing is in very, very poor condition. So let me show you guys the car. All right guys, here is the car. I'm just gonna do a quick walk around so you guys can see just how destroyed this car is. It's been completely sanded down and like primered, and then it just sat outside for years. It's on Steelies. Just covered in dirt, the windshield's cracked. I don't even know what's all inside this car. I haven't taken anything out of it. I actually bought it about a month ago, but it's just been sitting till I have time. Just absolutely dirty in here. But what is special about this car is this car has been converted to a JDM front end. And I do have everything, or at least I believe I do. There's a bumper in the car and a couple headlights. And I'm pretty sure all that stuff is still good. I just took his word on it. I haven't looked at any of it yet. But yeah, it's been converted to a JDM front end. And then under the hood is a K24A from Japan. It's a Accord Type R engine. And then it has a, I believe, an 8th gen Civic SI trans. But I'm not 100% sure. He didn't remember exactly what was in it. And it's just been sitting in here for a couple of years. So I don't know exactly what I need to do to this to get it running. I have to basically, I'm going to drop the engine out and I'm going to try and just start over. I know the car has no brakes and no e-brake. And you can see something's going on with the brake lines. I'm not exactly sure what he had going on there. The rear engine mount is just, there's no bracket. So I'm gonna pull this engine out. I'm gonna clean the engine bay. I'm gonna assess everything I need to do to get it running. I'm gonna pull everything out of the car as well so I can wash it. And then the sunroof is open. I don't know 100% why. I don't know if it's stuck open or what, but I need to get that closed. And I know this window is down. And I don't know exactly why either. So that's my first step, guys, is empty out the car, get the engine out, and I'm going to wash it. All right, well, I managed to get everything pulled out of this car, except for maybe some of the little trash. And the interior is actually in pretty good condition. It's dirty, but it's all there. And you can see it hasn't been washed in years. This is the original color of the car. It's like maroon. But the interior is all there. The seats are pretty worn out. But it is the leather seats, which I think makes this a GS. I'm not 100% sure. The dash definitely needs some work up here. I have to figure out exactly what pieces I have and what I don't to try and put this back together. I don't know what's going on down here. Looks like the harness is just, I don't even know. I know part of that's the K-swap harness and part of it's the chassis harness. I'm not sure. I'm gonna address that later. The HVAC box has been taken out. It's sitting over there, at least part of the box. And there's no brake pedal. It does absolutely nothing. There's no fluid in the master. The e-brake doesn't do anything. The driver door panel's taken off. The glass is there, but there's no motor regulator or there's no window regulator or motor. So I'm gonna have to see if I can track down one of those. For now, I'll probably just put a block of wood in there. I'm not sure. But overall, I think if it gets cleaned up and put back together, it's gonna end up being just fine. Of course, I have to figure out what's going on up here. Looks like a bomb went off up here. Just absolutely no idea. So I'm gonna pull this out and basically start over with the engine here. And then you can see everything that I pulled out of the car. Looks like there's a lot of pieces here. Some of it I won't need, some of it maybe I will. I'm not sure. Here's like an old AC compressor, and it looks like some shift cables for some K-series, starter, power steering pump, a drive-by wire, throttle body, radio. Here's some of the interior pieces here. So center console, armrest console, glove box door, kick panel, stuff like that. Here's the HVAC box and the blower motor box piece. And some coolant hoses, spare wheel and floor mats. Here's the headlights. Unfortunately, I can see this one's broken on the tab, and I know these are very pricey. So I'm gonna see if I can't make these work. Of course, here's the bumper. The bumper is really beat up, but I can have that painted and fixed up. And then I think this is like the little front grille piece that the JDM front ends have. And there's like a water pump housing or water inlet housing, a booster, a bunch of bolts. Now I do know what these are because he told me these were in the car, but these are supposedly K-swap axles for an Integra. And then it looks like this is like a shifter adapter. So that's a pretty neat piece. So basically I'm just gonna hang on to all this stuff until I get it running and then junk what I don't need. And then here's the door panel, which I'm really happy. This thing looks like it's in really good condition. So yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the car pushed in, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get the engine pulled out. Then I'm gonna push the car out and get it all washed down.
All right, well, so now I'll show you guys under the car. I haven't really been under here yet. Wow, I know it's kind of dark on camera, but this thing looks like it's been sitting for a while. Well, I see some kind of leak. Transmission looks like it's leaking. I don't know what's going on there. The brake line is undone over here. Just cobwebs everywhere. Looks like it's on some cheap eBay suspension. I have no idea what happened to this thing. Brake caliper's undone over here. No belt on it. Obviously it's missing some stuff as well. The little inspection plate's gone. Oh man, what is going on? What the hell? This thing is... What the heck is going on here, dude? The axles, it's like in there sideways. I don't know if you guys can tell on camera, but this thing is in at like an angle or something. What is going on here? So obviously I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on with the half shaft. Looks like the bearings like popped out too a little. I don't know how that's possible. I've never seen that before. But you can see there's no rust anywhere, which I'm really happy about. Looks like somebody drilled a small hole for the cables, which in my experience that is not big enough. But here's the original shift linkage. So this was a manual chassis, because the automatic chassis had a different setup here for the shift cable. Looks like as far as the suspension goes, everything's all put together. Nothing's really been taken apart. There's no brake line back here at all. That's weird. I don't remember where the hard line stops and the soft line comes in. So I'll have to figure that out. Looks like... Okay, so the hard line's right up here, so I just need a soft line. And this one here, so I'm probably gonna change all that out, because none of that looks right to me. There's a little bit of rust on some of these suspension components, but nothing I'm worried about. So it looks like everything's pretty much here. No rust. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get the engine pulled out now, and then I can get it all cleaned out and basically just start over with this whole entire car. I'm really excited for the JDM front end. I have big plans for this car one day, but I have other plans with other cars first, so I need to get this thing running so I can get it out of my shop and store it away for a little while.
Well, it took me like 10 minutes to pull the engine out. It was pretty much transmission and engine mount, and that's the only thing holding it in. So that was really easy. Now I'm going to go ahead and just try and wash this thing off. And then I'm going to try and get this sunroof and this window closed, so I can at least store it outside and actually use this bay again. Because that's the only reason it's actually been inside the bay for about a month, is because it's been raining a lot here and I didn't want to get rain inside the car. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get this thing all blowed out with an air gun, try and get some of this dust off, dirt and debris. And then I'm going to put a block of wood in this window and see if I can get the sunroof up. And then after I do that, or the sunroof down, and then after I do that, I'm going to go ahead and spray it down. Alright, so I'm pretty sure in order to get power to the dash, all I, in theory, should have to do is put power to one of these terminals. I think it's this one. I do not remember. I think this one's for like the alternator or starter or something. This one goes to the dash. So I have a battery. So I'm going to try and take power from the battery to here and then ground to the chassis, and I'm going to see if I can't get power to the sunroof and then get it to close. Alright, so this is a setup that I got just to make this work. I got just a random cable that I found, and I bolted it to the chassis. It's not even tight actually. And then I put vice grips over the terminal. And then I just got another random cable that bolts to the fuse box here, the terminal here. And then I just also vice gripped to the positive terminal. And actually I can hear something going off in here. So I know I got some kind of power here. So put the key in. Oh, I got something.
But no sunroof. Sunroof does not work. Do not know why.
So I'm gonna have to figure that out. Maybe the switch is unplugged? I don't know.
So I'm gonna take a second to figure that out, and I will let you guys know what I find.
Well, I finally managed to get this closed. It took me probably 25 minutes of just trying to figure it out. So you saw what I did over at the battery in the fuse box. And then I came over here and the switch didn't work. So I pulled up some wiring diagrams. You can see right over here I got the fuse box diagram. And then I can see here on the wiring diagram it's pretty simple. So there's one fuse that feeds a relay, feeds a switch to the motor. So I checked the fuse, and the fuse is missing, so I put the fuse in, and it has power on both sides, but the switch still won't work, or still wasn't working. So what I did was, just to get this done with for now, is I took out the switch, unplugged it, and I just, using the wiring diagram to know which wires were which, I just put power to this wire here and ground, and then I just manually closed it. So that works. So I know at least the motor's good. I'm not sure if the switch is bad or what, but that is something for another day. And then as far as the window goes, I just put a rubber block and a piece of wood in there, basically just fit perfectly between the glass and the bottom of the door, and so that's propped up. So now I can go ahead and wash this car, and I won't get any water inside of it, and at least make this thing look a little bit more presentable. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start washing the car now. All right, well, I just got done washing up the car, and obviously I didn't do a very detailed wash on it. I kind of just scrubbed it down and hosed it off. Got a lot of the dirt and moss that's been sitting on it for years off, and it looks a lot better. It doesn't look as abandoned as it did. And now I can keep this thing outside. I don't have to keep it in my shop. And then, of course, as you can see, I put the front end on. Obviously, it still needs some adjustment. It's kind of just held on by 2 screws and a couple zip ties, but it looks good. It doesn't look bad. And this is going to be a good starting point to just get started on this project. And hopefully one day this thing will be a gorgeous, clean Integra again. Alright guys, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. If you guys enjoyed this content, please hit that like button and leave a comment, and I will try to get to all of your guys' comments when I can. And please subscribe. The channel just hit 100 subscribers, so I am very excited about that. And I want to thank you guys all for watching, and I will see you guys next time.